Everyone, Sarah Elizabeth LaHood here, and I'm so glad you're here. Today we are talking about the only things you need to start booking your paying clients. And I want to make this extremely practical. So we're not talking about like all of the mindset stuff and the morning routines and the brilliant ideas and creativity. All of those things we can talk about another day. But today I want to talk about like strictly how do you go simple step by step from brilliant idea to actually getting your first paying client through the door. So you need three things: an offer, a way to book, and a relationship. That is all you need. Everything else you can forget about for now. Now, I realize those three terms are a little bit vague, and I'm going to go through each one and explain what I mean. But know this: you only need the technology, strategy, systems, etc., that are going to help you get one of those three things. Everything else is superfluous right now because really, sometimes we fill our to do list with things like Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, blah, 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 in order to give ourselves busy work because it feels so good to get stuff done. You're like, yeah, if I get this stuff done, it's probably maybe going to help me get a client. No, it's not, right? So let's be really strategic about how we spend our time. I know you've got a million things you could be doing, but I want to make sure that we're really getting you focused on what's going to get you towards your goal. There's no reason to fill your time with busy work when we really want to get that goal sorted. Okay, so again, an offer, a way to book, and relationships. And we're going to go through each one and figure out what you need in order to have each one. So we will use some of those tools: Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, blah, blah, blah. And you can go ahead and discern for yourself which ones of those you want to use for now. But again, remember, every tool that we're using, every strategy that we're using is really bringing us closer to one of those three things and ultimately to our goal. So I had a little bit of a tech kerfuffle there, but I'm going to go ahead and plow ahead because I'm all about getting this stuff out there, whether it's perfect or not. So let's get back to it. An offer, a way to book, and a relationship. So let's take a look at an offer, okay? Now, an offer, if you're thinking in business terms, you're probably going, okay, I need my paid product. So it's my paid product or service, or it's my package, or it's my minimum viable product if you're familiar with that terminology, or MVP, okay? So all of these things, you're probably thinking of it that way. You don't necessarily need that, but you do need to be very, very clear on what your offer is. I'm going to go ahead and guess that you're probably not. Now, before you argue with me and go, Sarah Elizabeth, I'm totes clear on what my offer is and I don't need help on that, go with me for a second, okay? Do you have a clear idea of who you're serving? Are you clear on their problem and their result and how you're offering a solution? Are you clear on the step-by-step process that they go through in order to get that solution? Are you clear on what you're giving them? Are you clear on the dates that they're going to be receiving stuff? Are you clear on the time that it's going to take you to get from step A to step B to step C? And are you clear on your follow-up process and your intake process and all these things that go along with someone actually accepting and taking you up on your paid offer? So it's very likely that there are some components of this missing. So just listen to me for a second. Here are some things that you want to have. You want to be clear about the intake process. So how does somebody book with you? What happens when they go, I really want to work with you on your package? Or what happens when someone says, I really want you to custom design my wedding invitations? Whatever it is, okay? What happens when they say yes? Do you send them an automated email? Do you send them a PayPal link? Do they go to your sales page and they click buy now? Do they add an item to their cart and then go check out on Etsy? What's the process? And then what's the process afterwards? When they get their payment go through, do they get a receipt automatically emailed to them? Do they get a follow-up email from you with more information? Do they get a welcome packet? Do they get a breakdown of their timeline, like when their website's going to be done or whatever it is? Whatever your product or service is, make sure you're clear on what happens when someone says yes. How are you going to make that happen? Then think about the actual time that you're working together itself. What happens when you guys are working together? If it's a long-term program, like if you're a coach or a designer or something like that, be pretty clear on what steps you need to go through with them and kind of a vague idea of how long each one's going to take. Obviously, everyone's human. There's going to be slip-ups and tech kerfuffles and all this kind of stuff that makes things go longer or shorter depending, okay? But be really clear on what happens while you guys are working together. And then finally, what happens when the project is over? How do you follow up with people? How do you keep in touch? How do you get testimonials and ask for referrals? And how do you check up on their dog and see how they're doing with life and how everything's going, okay? Be very clear on what you need to do for all those steps. If you're not feeling clear and confident on that, if you haven't got those pieces sorted, you're gonna have a little bit of hesitation when you go to make your offer because you know deep down inside, if someone says yes, you're going to go like, oh my gosh, what now? And you're going to be scrambling. Okay. So get those pieces in order. Get your offer sorted. Okay. So that's step number one. You need an offer. But step number two, you need a way to book. Okay. So again, going back to that intake process, what happens when someone says yes? You need to have a way to make sure that people can book that time with you. Okay. So this is part sort of your intake process, your payment processing, and all that stuff. But you also need to be very clear on how you're finding these clients. Okay, what's the process? What's the sort of way that you're getting yourself in front of people who might want to work with you? There are millions of people in the world that probably want to work with you, but they mightn't have heard of you yet. Okay, so how are you getting in front of them? You need a way, a system, a strategy for booking those potential clients. Okay, so you need a way to get in front of people. You need a way to talk to people. You need some sort of marketing strategy to get in front of them. Now, this is where we can kind of get bogged down in Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest. And I didn't do my finger thingy, but that's where we can get bogged down in that, right? Again, focus on what you need in order to get to your goal, okay? The bare minimum. And it sounds like you're being oversimplistic with ourselves. Sometimes we push ourselves, we're really hard on ourselves. We're like, I need to accomplish all of this or I won't be good enough to book anyone. That's not true, okay? So even if it feels funny, go with the bare minimum. Figure out what you actually need in order to get in front of clients. And remember, it's a little bit of a numbers game, okay? So say you get in front of 100 people, one of those people is probably going to be a future customer, okay? So have a system, figure out what you actually need in order to get people. So if you know your ideal client loves Facebook groups, go hang out on some Facebook groups, girl. If you know she's constantly searching for recipes in Pinterest, let's focus on Pinterest. If you know that she's not online at all and she's always hanging out in the local coffee shop, print out some flyers and stick them in the local coffee shop, okay? Get really clear on what you actually need to focus on in order to get in front of your first few paying clients, and you can learn the rest later, okay? Now, the last part, the relationship. This is so important, okay? And it's for a couple of reasons. I believe business, the way that you and I are talking about business, is basically a dream made real. Sounds really woo-woo, sounds really stupid, sounds like really Disney girl corny. I really want to be in a Disney movie, by the way. But basically what I'm saying is you started a business because there wasn't something existing that you wanted to do. There wasn't a career that already existed that you wanted to do. There wasn't a job description that already existed that you wanted to do. Or someone was doing something similar and you didn't quite like it. It didn't fit the way that you saw it working. You saw a need for that, and you saw a need in other people to serve them with your unique vision, which means this is all about creating space for you and for your potential clients. That means that this is about building relationships. This is about helping people. This is about like getting in front of people and actually helping them solve their problems. And the mere fact that you are a solopreneur right now means that you have even more power to really build those relationships. You're not some kind of big conglomerate with like a million VAs under you. That's not really conglomerates do, but you're not like some person with like 10,000 people under you and like you have to be really official in your systems. You have a little bit of flexibility. You have the ability to sit down and talk with people for an hour for free if you want to. So take advantage of that flexibility and that human connection and relationship. Again, all those complicated, really awesome and powerful, but again, complicated strategies such as Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest and blah, 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 whatever else that will help you grow your business as you scale. Those are all essentially trying to build relationships without direct human contact. So the mere fact that you can have direct human contact right now is incredibly powerful. Think back over to every experience in your life where you spent a lot of time or money. There was probably some sense of really awesome, epic transformation involved. That does not happen on its own. It happens when we're inspired by other people. So building that relationship is so powerful. And it's not about tapping into people's feelings and manipulating people in order to make a sale. It's not about that. It's about really using your gifts and your business to serve people. And when you come from that place of being comfortable, confident, clear about who you are and how you're really helping other people, that sense of desperation around, oh my God, I really need paying clients, that just disappears. And as we all know, desperation, haven't you ever seen like a romantic comedy? It always pushes people away, so don't do it, okay? All right, so the three things you need, once again, are an offer, a way to book, and a relationship. focus on these three things, get those book those paying clients, get them in the door, and you can figure out the rest of the stuff later. I'm telling you right now, it is not super important. Now, if you're still a little bit like, wait, what do I actually do? I have a big list of tech resources to help you do every single one of those steps. So go ahead and download it, and you can go through, and there's links to all the tech resources that I love to use that will probably help you in any business you're starting. Know this though, before you go and look up all those tech things, like Adobe and Buffer and WordPress and whatever else I have in there, okay? Before you go looking them all up, okay? Get clear on your strategy. Take those 3 points: offer, way to book, relationship, and map out your strategy. Get very clear on what you need, and then go find the technology to help you do it. If you start with the technology, you're gonna feel FOMO and overwhelmed and just like, bleh, okay? But if you start with you and you start with your strategy, you can always find the tech to help you make it happen. All right? Feel free to comment, ask any questions that you got. I'll make more and more videos for you guys. Check out my YouTube channel and you can find more tutorials there. And remember, keep it simple, keep it strong, and go for the goals. I'll see you guys very soon.